Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, the number one friendship podcast in the history of the world, the number one rated friendship show in Sherman Oaks, California. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 77. Thanks for tuning in last week with Frank Caliendo, the man of 175,000 voices. What a great guy. What a fun man to have on. This week, we're hitting you hard. We're hitting you tight with one of my favorites. We tried to get her on the podcast a long time ago, and she had something come up, so then we just bashed her. We gave her a hard time, or I gave her a hard time, playfully and flirtatiously, for not showing up. But we got her back. I'm so excited to have her. You might know her from the Curious Creations of Christine McConnell, which was a show that was on Netflix. Jim Henson made a bunch of puppets for it, which was all used as a vehicle to show her spooky creations that are all edible. And she is such an artist. She's so beautiful. She's so cool. And we have a ton of things in common, all the best types of things. She's really awesome. She currently has a show on YouTube, so subscribe to her YouTube channel. It's called From the Mind of Christine McConnell. And she's getting into all sorts of stuff on there, making couches and upholstery and dresses and food and spooky things, all in her very, very brand of Christine McConnell. She's very awesome. This is an episode you're going to watch because she's very beautiful and a lot of funny things happen. If you'd like to watch the podcast, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye and subscribe for a small fee. You'll get to watch every episode, all 77 episodes, and you'll get to watch this before anyone else. Also, you get free comedy club tickets to any of my shows on any of my calendar. You show up, you get free tickets, free meet and greet. You won't pay for comedy club tickets for me again. Also, the money just helps. It goes a long ways with this. It's expensive to build a studio in your house. We don't have sponsors. We don't have any of that stuff. So the only way this exists is because of Patreon subscribers like you. So we would appreciate it if you do subscribe. Tell your friends, share it. If you don't want to spend any money, I understand that also. Go to iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review, or just subscribe. It goes a long ways and it's completely free. Also on there is all 77 episodes for your listening pleasure. You guys are going to love this episode because you're going to love this woman the way me and Tony do. Ladies and gentlemen, Christine McConnell. So excited to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Got you in the Fortress of Solid Dudes. That's what we like to call this place.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So one thing I like about you is you like all the things, or you like a lot of things that I love.
Oh, yay.
I'm obsessed with anything Halloween themed.
All right.
I love anything that's kind of like paranormal or spooky or monsterish. I'm not a big fan of gore.
Okay.
So I don't like slasher stuff or like any of those kind of movies. Don't do anything for me. I'm more indifferent to it. But I do like anything with like a monster or an alien or a spirit or a demon or, like I like all that kind of stuff. Okay. But also, your show is so funny on Netflix. The puppets are very cute. I'm a big puppet guy. I like all that. And then you're an artist for sure.
Oh, yay.
And I think there's a big difference between an artist and a chef.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think so.
What's the difference?
Well, what you're doing is art.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Like if you made one of those things and you're like, hey, Jeff, look, I made you this like really cool tarantula cookie or like a haunted house that's got the eyes and the teeth and the things like you did on the show. I wouldn't want to eat it.
Oh,
Or just want to like look at it?
well, they taste good too, usually. Not every time, but most, like the tarantula cookies are actually super tasty.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but it's like so cool looking. You just want to go like, look at that. I just want to show everyone.
Well, if you touch it at all, they break. Like they're also super crazy delicate. So,
They're fragile?
yeah, just a little bit. I think I made for the show, I made like maybe like 15 of those giant tarantula spider cookies.
Right.
And by the time we actually got to filming, like almost all of them were broken.
Oh,
Really?
boy.
And so we were like hot glue gunning them back together.
Oh, no.
Like
And then
right
you got to take
Yeah.
a bite out of it?
Yeah. So I was like, well, whatever. It's non-toxic. I'll be
That's very
fine.
weird.
Yeah.
Wait, so the show, we're going to jump a little bit out of order.
Okay.
But so the show, when I try to describe it to people, is basically like you have a big haunted house
Yes.
and you're this beautiful lady who lives in this house alone for some reason.
Yeah.
And you've kind of adopted all of these misfit, I don't know what they would be. Like one's are they haunted creatures or like
They're
back
sort of
from the dead?
Intentionally indescribable, I
Okay.
think. Like they're just kind of they're kind of werewolf-ish or
And
zombie.
you're like their mom.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the way a woman would go. These are my
What?
cat babies. You know, like that's
Exactly.
the same, except they're
These
not
are
cats. They're
like
like these
roadkill.
misfit, funny things.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then, but that's all just the vehicle for the things that you like to create and cook.
Totally. Or
Right.
just like crafting and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm trying to think like we only tackled a tiny little part of the things that I wanted to get into. And then the show was discontinued. But,
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, they didn't continue it. So it's very
Well, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm a little sad about it, but it's actually kind of worked out sort of nicely. So
Okay, good.
Oh, good.
yeah.
I was gonna say I know that feeling way too well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on tons of successful shows that they're like, oh yeah, we're not renewing it. And you're like, what?
I know.
I
It's-
hate television that way.
It's kind of one of those things that, like, I don't know. It's so exciting that it happened at all. And I kind of feel like nobody's mad at, like, I don't know, Cinderella's fairy godmother for only giving her one night. Like, everyone's pretty jazzed about
Can't
it.
be too upset about
That's
it.
what
yeah.
I'm thinking. And, like, it brought a lot of people to me that like what I do. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. And then so I sort of shifted gears and started like a YouTube show.
Nice.
And it's kind of awesome because there's no one to tell me I can't
Yeah.
do this or I
They
can't do
slow
that.
you down, these networks. A lot of notes
Thank
from
you.
these.
Exactly. So I can
goons.
murder people if I want.
Absolutely.
And like,
I mean, not
nobody-
really, right?
I mean, sure. Yeah.
I mean,
no.
that seemed.
No, never. But anyway.
Some of that stuff you should keep private.
Yeah,
Murder.
totally. Exactly.
If we're going to be.
I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I can do kind of any weird little thing I want, and there's no scheduling issues. It's just sort of like if I feel like doing it, I
Yeah.
get my stuff together.
What's the name of the YouTube thing? What if we want to watch that?
From the mind of Christine McConnell.
Nice.
And
what if we want to see the puppets, though, and they're not there no
I
more?
want to see the puppets.
Yeah.
I'm very sad about it. I mean, I think Netflix owns them.
Oh, they do?
So, and Henson owns them. And
Yeah.
I think I would
They were
be-
very funny. Whoever wrote for them was very funny.
Oh my-
Whoever the
well-
voices of the raccoon with the forehand,
It's Colleen Smith.
she's very funny.
She's
Great timing.
amazing.
You could have
sh-
botched those jokes pretty easily
Yeah,
from a
no.
comics perspective, and she did really good.
She's amazing.
Yeah, very
And
funny stuff.
So funny. And like you kind of believe these characters are real, even though you're standing there watching like 3 people operate each one.
Yeah, and
But
they weren't afraid to be edgy.
No.
So I liked that. There was like sexual jokes. There was like gross jokes. There's like barf jokes. You know, like
Yeah, I
a lot
wrote
of they trying to kill each other sometimes, which I,
I wrote
liked.
a lot of those, and they actually
Really?
toned it down quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I had
wow.
like rape jokes in there, and they
Yeah.
were like, no.
My favorite. Last
So-
episode, we debated taking out some Bill Cosby stuff, but we
yay!
didn't.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's a shame.
We won't take it
No,
out
no.
because
Okay, well, you
again,
can.
we have no network that
Oh.
tells us what to do.
Exactly.
If I say Bill Cosby was my favorite rapist, if I had to pick one, it stays in the episode.
don't know
so-
if I have a favorite.
Well, I mean, if I had to pick one,
Okay, all right.
I own the records of one of them. I own records from a guy who ended up. I'm not
awesome.
proud of his rape, but I'm
Yeah.
proud of him.
Yeah, I think you can accomplish
Pre-rape.
nice things outside of rape.
Yeah.
Paradoxical. Wait, so where was I going with all that? So the puppets aren't on there,
No,
but it's
sadly.
you
It's me.
and you cook.
And
I don't know what you call it. Bake?
It's like
Paint?
baking, it's decorating, it's carving. I've kind of gotten to all sorts of stuff. Like I redid a Craigslist couch is like the first episode.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of I like weird, creepy things. I like taking things that are normal or sort of like well known and sort of transforming them into something slightly unexpected. So
I like that.
yeah.
Creating.
Yes,
You
totally.
God complex, don't you,
Oh,
Christine?
I like that. Yeah.
Don't you?
Not really, but
Yeah, it sounds like
sure.
you do a little. She doesn't know she
I have
has
a
it,
cat
but-
complex. I have a lot of cats.
You
so-
do?
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
I like animals. So
Yeah.
just-
Well, we wouldn't call it a complex.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm like a third or fourth generation cat lady. So like
Nice.
I only have 2 right now, which is just like
Yeah,
way too
whoa.
few.
Well, then I don't know if that
Only 2.
constitutes as cat lady yet.
Well,
Well, only. She did say
Yeah.
it was only.
only.
Yeah, only.
I grew up with like I think 17 cats.
Oh
like
my gosh.
parents.
At once?
Yeah, my parents had like this big old house on like an acre of land, and
Yeah.
my mom used to just go to the pound and just be like box them up and
Oh
like
my
would
gosh.
I'll
take.
take the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because they like killed them, so you
Yeah,
just like
right.
choose
That's
safe
very sweet.
cats, and so. The ones that were bad, because some just are bad, you just sort of let them do whatever they're going to do when they live their life, either outside or kind of in this like cat, what do you call it, catio? And then
Like
the ones
that.
that were good and like loved people, like got to come inside and be our friends.
My mom had a lot of cats.
oh yeah,
growing
I
up.
like your mom already.
Yeah, good. Well, let's not.
Okay,
let's
I'm
rein
sorry.
it in. Well, I'm not vouching for.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
vouch for the cats. They're great.
All right.
And all the cats were. It's funny how they wandered around the house.
Yes.
They didn't seem to enjoy each other's company. It was interesting. Like there would be like 2 that might like each other. They'll kind of pop around in the living room.
Yes.
And then you'd go into like the like family area, and like there'd be like one up here, and then like one on a couch.
Yeah.
Like if you have a bunch of dogs, they'll be fighting
All
or
on top of each
wrestling
other.
or happy together.
No.
Yeah.
These cats almost treated it like, oh, that's my roommate over there. Like, yeah, she's
Cats
fine.
will
Sometimes
pick-
we'll cuddle.
Totally. They'll pick like a best friend and then they'll just hang out with that one. And sometimes they'll like have a tiff and they'll go find another
Ooh.
best friend.
Yeah.
So,
Cats are hard to
Do cats mark?
figure out.
you mean pee?
Well, like, yeah, dogs will mark their territory.
Yeah.
Cats
That's
do
kind
that?
of the bummer about having like male
lot.
cats. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to ever
They're
have.
not going to mark if it's just them in a house. There's
You
nothing to
don't-
mark.
So it can get gross if you're not like diligent about it or whatever. And you're
Yeah.
sort of like just throwing like, I don't know. What is it? Is it neutered or spade for men? I can't tell the difference.
I think it's neutered.
Okay.
My
So if you don't
doctor
neuter-
called
if
it
you have a bunch of-
neutering me. He
All right.
said when he...
Yay. Well, whatchamacallit, if you have a bunch of like male cats that aren't fixed running around your house, it's
Yeah.
gonna get
It's going to get wild.
gonna get interesting.
It'll be the
Yeah.
Wild West of cats.
Yeah, you
Which
don't wanna
could be
do-
a sitcom. I'm just kidding. Are the cats featured on your YouTube episodes?
One of them is, and one of them I'm fairly sure is mentally handicapped, so he does
Okay.
not like being on camera. But he likes hiding under things and then
Okay.
coming out when it's just me around and like snuggling. But he sort of
Mentally
trusts me.
challenged.
But it's sort of one of those things
like
you
sometimes
don't
at the house, he'll just be like throwing a tennis ball against the wall, and
almost exactly that.
yeah,
Like,
he's always asking for ice cream.
it's people.
He's a sweetheart, but
There
he's-
are people that are mentally challenged, and so obviously animals there would be that too. And this cat is one of those.
I love
think.
that, and you're
So-
you're even nice to that one though.
Well, I love him. I mean, I
That's
love,
a loaded question.
I love him. I don't really like him.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes
If
sense.
that makes
Yeah,
sense. He's
yeah,
not-
that's the mom complex.
He's not everything a cat can be, but he is what he is, and I support him.
I love that.
and I love him regardless.
I love that.
That's very sweet.
I mean, he's not going to be able to go out and have a regular kind of working
No.
career or anything, so
No,
he's going to
I
be with
don't
you for the
think
long
so.
haul.
There's no college for him.
For the long haul.
Yeah, I think I've had him like 10 years.
College
I don't know.
Oh wait, so I've got this new idea that I'm going to do that sounds kind of something up your lane.
Okay.
I'm going to take old paintings from like vintage stores.
All right.
And then just kind of add my own little stuff to it because I draw really well and I paint and I've never really done anything with it that I enjoy. So when I
Okay.
was a kid, they always like pushed it on me. They're like, he's the best at drawing.
Okay.
He should enter reflections. I don't know if you had that. It was like this, like
no, I don't think so.
it was like a competition they would
I
do,
remember that,
and
yeah.
everyone would judge all the people that drew or did a piece of art, and then you win like an award. It was the way to recognize like the artists that were
Okay.
kids, and I would always win, and I always like did all these things, but I just like pressured to do it, so it made me like be like, I don't want to do that. I want to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanna
Nice
do other
humble
stuff.
brag there, by the way.
No.
Well,
I
that
think
was the only thing I was good at as a
you
kid.
should tell people if you're good at stuff.
I just kept winning. I didn't
kept
want to do it
winning,
anymore.
and I hated it.
I was just so good. I just had to.
Well, it's like I wanted to be an
stop.
athlete, or I wanted like I wanted the girls to like, and none of that stuff was happening. The only thing I could do good was draw. So one thing I'm gonna do for my own is get like maybe like it's an old picture of like a cabin, and then like woods. I want to
Okay.
add like a Bigfoot like in the treescape, like something like that.
I love that. I
But
think
you would be
that's-
way better at this idea than me.
I've actually done something in that realm.
Yeah.
That was I'd never painted at all really. And so I think I went to a thrift store and I got like a couple like old scenic paintings
Yeah.
and just like
Add
sort of-
stuff.
I didn't
Put a
have the
spaceship up
genius
there,
idea.
UFO or something.
I did not have that really cool idea and I wish I had. But I was just like changing colors and
yours.
stuff to
Yeah.
like go with my house. But I love that idea.
It'd be fun.
Incorporating creepy stuff.
Yeah, put like
Yeah.
a demon looking out the window or like a rake walking
I
through
would
the
do
forest,
that
something
in
like
a
that.
heartbeat. Totally.
It's a good idea. Fun idea.
I'm just about to get into like autumn decorating for like the next episode of my thing.
Nice.
And it's
Autumn.
not gonna look like, like Joanne Fabric where you've got like the pumpkins and hay everywhere. It's gonna
Right.
be something totally
Which is what we used to call gay, which you can't say anymore.
Okay.
But it's it's corny.
Yeah, it's very and I like it. Like it's fun when you go to like an old place that's got that kind of stuff going on, but I just feel like there's a few routes that people haven't really gone with it, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to be tackling next.
I love that. And forgive my ignorance about it, but
Okay.
is wasn't that how how you got like some attention and heat to get your Netflix show?
Yeah.
Was that you did this incredible thing with your home?
Yeah, my parents' house actually.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, like the Cat Lady Fortress.
Right.
It was like this old Victorian barn-looking house,
Right.
and my parents kind of let me do whatever I liked to it, and so I made it over to look like a monster.
Right.
Um,
And everyone was like, this is
people
Awesome.
really like.
Yeah.
I think like a few thousand people showed up on Halloween night.
I saw
Wow.
photos of it on the internet and I was like,
Wow.
this is so cool. Because I don't know if they
was-
mentioned it on the Netflix show.
I don't think so. Now,
No.
it's kind of
Or
like
I was
a.
probably looking up from the Netflix show, like, who is this lady? And
Okay.
then like I saw that and thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah. So I did that probably like 3 years before the Netflix show sort of came around, and it was like a catalyst for like a ton of really cool, fun stuff coming my way.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then I did it again right before the Netflix show launched.
Oh, nice. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, people loved it, and it'll sort of be like going back to it. And I kind of went like batshit crazy with it.
Well, you probably had a better
And-
budget this time,
Yeah,
didn't you?
totally. Well, actually, I think I spent like every cent I had. I think I spent like $4,000 on this stupid thing. And
It's not
I
stupid. It's cool.
redid every shingle on the entire face of the house and like recreated out of like foam core. And I used
Mhm.
like a hot knife, which sort of like melts right through it.
Nice.
And so I'm sure I'm going to die of some sort of like styrofoam inhalation.
Yeah.
Yeah, worth
Sort
it
of
though. It's
illness.
worth
But
dying
yeah,
for.
so anyway, I think I spent like 2 months doing it and it came out crazy awesome. But my parents' house was like Swiss cheese when I was done.
Why also
so-
just turn it into a monster house, dying for your art? If I tell you that glass blowing thing, it's a great evening magazine in Seattle, Washington is like this like local thing.
Okay.
And it's, it's pretty ticky tacky, clean, house mom kind of demo show.
Okay.
And they go to this glass blowing guy. They weren't trying to be funny. Keep in mind, this guy isn't a comedian. He wasn't trying to be funny. And no one even laughed. But this is what happened. He goes, this guy's like, glass blowing is actually horrible for your lungs when you do it like in the way he's doing it.
Oh.
Like this street glass blowing is really hard on your body and it's really hard on your system. And they go to this glass blower and he's like, you know that? And he goes, yeah, but he says this beautiful thing where he says, well, to die a little early to create beautiful art
I kind of like
is
that.
totally worth it. Right? Very beautiful. And then he
Yeah.
goes, oh, that's great. What do you make? He goes, oh, mostly bongs and dildos. And he wasn't trying to be funny at all.
Oh no.
And they mulled over it like it wasn't the funniest thing. Like, to die early for your art and you're making bongs and dildos.
I don't know if that's really worth it for
Yeah,
me, but
I don't
Yeah.
think that's that
I
great.
think I'd want to make something a touch
He's
more
making
meaningful.
a lot
More
of people
poignant,
making
yeah.
a lot of people happy.
I'll tell you
He's
what.
making a lot of
Exactly.
people
That
happy.
is true. If you look at the numbers.
That's horrifying.
Wait, so you made your parents' house into this thing. What, the second time was it the same parents' house?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't gotten new parents.
Well, I thought maybe they gave you a different house.
Oh
or maybe
no,
it was your
no,
house
no!
or
It's
something.
my childhood home.
Nice.
Like, is this-
How nice are your parents?
They're really. I want to say they're kind of the best parents. Like they're.
Right? Oh,
I
yeah.
used to.
Oh, honey. Yeah, do whatever you want. To our house.
I used to bring home like scraggly animals that I'd find in like dumpsters and alleys, and
You
they
were a
kind of
weird kid, weren't you?
100%.
Yeah,
Like I
late
had
bloomer.
the
Not always
attic.
looked like this.
kind of.
I'm going to guess
bit.
all that.
All of that. I had like the attic as my bedroom, and like
Yeah.
I wanted like a coffin for a bed, and like I wanted like spooky stuff everywhere, and like I used to like collect spiders and stuff. So yeah,
That
like
really shows God's sense of humor.
I
Hey, what
think
if we make this weirdo hot late in life?
Oh, thank you.
No, but that's what happened. But so you still have all these interesting things and all these artistic abilities and fantastic aspirations, and you wouldn't have had if you were just leaning on your looks back then.
I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have much to lean on then either. So
Well, you'd be
see.
like, hey, quarterback of my high school, want to go home and play with my tarantulas
Yeah.
and paint mom and dad's accent wall full of demon eyes?
Pretty much. I think so.
You're like,
yeah.
no, freak.
Essentially. I'm trying to think. My mom's a general contractor, so she was always like tearing stuff up growing
Cool.
up. So I grew up doing that also, like doing drywall and like figuring out how to do all sorts of like construction stuff. So that was kind of the majority of my childhood, was either saving animals or doing some stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're still doing it.
Oh yeah, totally.
I loved your show, which is funny because I'm not like, I don't cook things and I don't want to know how to make any of that stuff, but it's just so fun to watch, and it was interesting to watch someone who's good at what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
However, I did find it always like slightly humorous about your show, almost borderline patronizing, where you're like, hey, you might have an extra 4 days to build this giant house, and then you're like, just go get this little carving thing that's used for this. Also, get out your airbrush and then put some food color in it, and you like spraying with the airbrush. You're like,
Okay.
I don't have all this stuff laying around.
I admit it is all entirely impractical to
Right.
do all of this stuff. And like, there's sort of, I'm definitely putting on this like,
Get out your pottery wheel, and we're gonna make
Yes.
it. You're like,
I'm putting on this idea that this is very achievable for anyone
right?
at like
It's
no
not that hard.
sacrifice.
And you're like, it's hard.
Well, and there's a sacrifice other places where most people like are socializing and doing all sorts of other things with their time.
Not to mention, mine's not gonna look like yours. I'm gonna
Aw.
go. Ooh.
Well, the
These
first
chocolate peanut butter bones looked a lot better when Christine made them. I don't have a fondue pot and carving. Like, it just looks so cool to watch you do it.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
There's so much like I think practice that goes into getting good at anything. Anything I ever first started looked like a steaming pile of garbage. I think like the first dresses that I made looked terrible, and like kind of anything like you just start, very few people are going to be amazing at. And
Right. That's everything in the world.
Yeah,
We
I'm
talk
no
about that a lot
exception to
on
that.
here. Yeah.
So it's kind of just like it's a ton of practice and a ton of like time that you kind of have to invest. So
How many do you think it's endless, the things you could come up with to make?
forever. Like
Really?
it's kind of I don't know what to compare it to. Mold, like it just like it grows, like it just like keeps going. Like
Why wasn't Netflix smart enough to go, she doesn't have to be put in a spooky Halloween box.
Well,
Why with each season we could make a season of this show. So the season's Christmas. All right,
Totally.
make a bunch of Christmas things, and they could still have like a kind of a
spooky
twist or a paranormal twist,
Yeah.
but like Nightmare Before Christmas, you could do not that, but the way
Totally.
they're doing Christmas, but also spooky.
I would say that's a box I've definitely like put myself in. Like it's something I personally love so much, and I incorporate it into every bit of every season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like I said, one of those things that like they gave me this insanely rad opportunity, and
Yeah, it
I'm
was pretty cool.
super excited for it. And do I agree with their decision?
Right.
No. I think there was so much more room for it to grow and get crazy and awesome. And the reaction I saw from people was
It had a Pee-wee's Playhouse not theme, but vibe to it.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it was kind of, I think it was a pricey show just because Henson, anytime when you
and networks have a gift for wasting money and bringing a bunch of people in. I mean, how many notes did people send just from their jackass desk at Netflix going, here's my take on this? And you're like, why are you chiming in, Carol? You're not even here. And you have like some opinion.
That was there, but I would say not too bad. I would say if you like the fact that they built the set, that was the coolest moment of the entire experience for me was they built all this stuff while I was off baking somewhere else. And so I showed up and they had gone to my house and like pulled all sorts of stuff from my house and essentially
And your mom and dad are like, hey,
no,
but what?
no, my own personal house.
Oh, you have your own house.
So whatchamacallit? So they had kind of like come in and recreated all of this stuff on like the Charlie Chaplin soundstage on the Henson lot.
Right.
And so
Loved his mustache.
Oh my God, everything.
One of the best.
So
Think about growing one. Just the Charlie Chaplin.
That could look a little Hitlerish if you're not careful.
Nobody remembers Hitler.
Good point.
People are positive, you know. They remember one of the most timeless comedians of all time, Charlie Chaplin. I'm a comedian. Let's
do
this.
do that. Let me know how it works.
Yeah,
out.
it's gonna be great. I'll be like, hey, do you mind if I crash your house? I lost everything.
Anyway, whatchamacallit, so I got to go to the set when this thing was finished and walk around by myself at night. And it was just this insanely surreal, cool moment that like I'll get to have forever. And so I don't know. So a lot of money went into doing all of that. And then when you see these puppets, they're not the puppets from like the 70s and 80s. They've got their brows furrow and they blink and they've got like all of these crazy things and their hands feel like little baby hands or something. Like
weird.
It's super weird, but it's the coolest thing. I wanted to keep holding the hand of the one little thing.
Of the cat, wasn't it?
It was no. That was very like rough. My chubby little raccoon.
Oh,
like,
she's the best.
Do
they sell like stuffed animals of that or anything?
They really honestly should.
I looked on Instagram, like just hashtag the character's name. What's the character's name? Rose. And all these people, mostly college age girls, but like they were them for Halloween.
That made me so happy.
It was really awesome, yeah. And I was like, that's great. It's pretty obscure, but it's great. Because I'm sure there was like people going like, what are you?
Oh, 100%.
You're a raccoon holding a fork, also mixed with some humanoid like lady, you know?
So a perfect example is I just went up to the Winchester house in San Jose and did like a big giant gingerbread project, and there were several days of like meet and greets and things, and like people would come in that were so familiar with the Netflix show and other work you'd done, and they're like trembling and shaking and so happy to be meeting you. And then you go to Subway and like no one knows who you are.
Absolutely.
And
it's
that's very
my life in a nutshell.
It kind of like keeps you on an even keel, I think. Like you can't get your head too big because while these people think you're so special, like obviously.
Yeah, the rest of the world goes on.
The people of Subway.
That's stand-up comedy. You're a legend. I'm king there.
Yeah.
I ain't dick anywhere else. Like no one cares anywhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
I love that. Wait, so those but you can't buy a stuffed animal of Rose?
No, it's a tragedy because she would be the best, I think.
Tragedy.
Well, like I'm not going to have kids and she is everything I would ever want in a child.
And you kind of had her for a time.
Exactly. Yeah. And now she was taken away from me.
Ugh.
So
it's tragic.
I'm hoping like one day when I'm like an old lady, like somebody brings the show back and I get to like come back as like this crypt keeper lady.
I imagine
That's
it'll
a great
come
idea.
back pretty soon.
I hope so. But I'm cool with waiting till I'm 82.
Right. Well, that can still happen.
Yeah. So that's sort of my secret little like hope.
I love that. So when we were downstairs before we started taping, you said that you're maybe getting out of California.
Not a maybe.
And you're definitely getting out of California.
It's happening in spring.
And you're looking to buy a home.
Yes.
And one thing I found interesting was that you wanted to be like old and spooky and Victorian.
Run down, kind of like neglected. And it could be like, I don't know, in the Ozarks or sort of like the Appalachian Mountains. I don't really care. Like just so long as it's isolated and old and needs some help.
Right.
And cheap also.
It needs a soul to feed on.
Exactly.
Something like
exactly.
that.
And I'm just going to do...
Need some woman to come in alone and vulnerable with her cats. I mean, you're really playing with fire. I hope you know that.
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And if anyone were to ever try to like break in and do something.
No, I'm talking about like the paranormal.
Yeah, do you welcome a ghoul running down the hallway screaming?
Unfortunately, like I had a weird experience at the Winchester house, but...
Let's hear it.
But I'm keeping it secret.
Why?
I can't tell anyone.
Well, you just teased us with it.
It's a weird thing, but I'm not really a ghost
That reminds me of the time I won the lottery, but I'm not going to tell anyone about any of that. Also, the time I met Obama, it was wild. I can't talk about it.
Whatchamacallit? So I went to the Winchester house. I'm not really a ghost person. Like I've just...
you're not?
I grew up in like an old creepy house and like... Obviously, if you live there long enough, some stuff's going to happen that you're like, I don't know. It's sort of... You don't know how much of it's real and how much of it like your brain playing tricks on you.
Right. I just turn up the Taylor Swift and drown it out.
Exactly.
Just pretend like it ain't happening.
I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Well, so I went to the Winchester house and like obviously the first thing you do is you ask every employee like, have you had any like things happen? And like you heard, it was a mixed bag. Sometimes people would say little things. And so anyway, I guess I'll tell this story.
Yes.
It's not that interesting.
It is to me,
It makes
Christine.
me sound weird more than anything.
You think I care about the listeners and viewers? It's for Jeffy. It's Jeffy's friendship podcast.
Well, so I was not terribly familiar with the Winchester house before I started this project.
And if people aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a household name pretty much. Like I knew of it. I had never been there or anything. So anyway, they reached out to me to see if I would do this like gingerbread recreation of it. And I always like biting off more than I could chew. And I was like, well, what if I did it how it used to look before this earthquake, and then now how it looks today, and then also do some sculptures and inside like interior rooms. So they said yes to everything. And so while I think it was probably like a month and a half into this project, and I'm working in this room by myself at the mansion, which I had like actually like I slept in there one night. Like I made like a nest out of like washcloths because I was just like, I know it sounds weird, but
you
like,
called it a nest.
well, if you had
I made
seen
a bed
me,
of washcloths,
no.
or I made like a comfortable little area to nap. You made a nest.
If you had seen me in there, it was a nest. It was not a bed or anything. Like I was like, I don't have time. I'm not going to be able to finish this in time if I go back to the hotel and come back here. So I'm just going to like make a little bed for myself. And I just like used my hair as a pillow and like I just went to sleep. But anyway, this is totally off topic.
Little bird.
So I'm working on this thing and it's 2 a.m. in the morning and nobody's there except a security guard that's sort of wandering around and checking in every once in a while. And I'm working on this thing and all of a sudden the hairs on the back of my neck stood up and I had this like weird feeling of like the house was happy I was there. And like it just was, it was so weird. It was almost like a staticky feeling through my whole body. And it was like the house saying thank you. And
Nice.
Like I was just weird. It's weird. And like I said, I sound like I'm into crystals and astrology.
No,
but
it embraced you.
That's a better feeling than feeling like you're not welcomed.
No. And from there on, I never had a moment again of being like afraid of being there by myself at night. And I could walk through the house at night by myself and the property and nothing. I never felt afraid. So,
But nothing else happened after? Like,
that was
did you
really-
stay the night every night? Or I mean, like,
no, I just did
often?
it. No. Just like most of the time, I would stay until 7 o'clock in the morning and then go sleep for a couple hours and come back.
Did you ever play with like a Ouija board there?
No, I should have. I don't know what I was thinking.
Or ever like, make a little cut in your hand and like put some blood on a star? Or like maybe put a bunch of big star on the ground with candles.
I bled into that gingerbread thing a little bit. I don't know if that counts.
That definitely counts.
I was
Definitely
messing
counts.
with something and like I
Hate to
scratched
tell you
myself.
that definitely counts.
Oh, okay, yay. Yay. Well, my DNA is definitely in that gingerbread thing. So.
That is gross if people want to eat the gingerbread house.
Well, I hope no one does.
What's gingerbread, Ding Ding?
Well,
That's what people like. They like to eat it.
It was a
no one likes
solid
gingerbread.
month old by the time I finished.
Yeah.
So if you want to eat it.
Well, here's a
that's-
good question then.
Okay.
What percentage of the stuff that you make that you do on your YouTube channel or on the Netflix show
Okay.
would be edible afterwards that you'd want to eat?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you have to make it out of edible,
I was going to
items.
say, honestly, like
but you
a
probably wouldn't.
small percentage is something you would want to eat by the time it's done with like a production schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because certain things like the peanut butter bones tasted awesome.
I believe that.
Yeah, those were like, you can't go wrong at all
Right.
with that. So
Although it's kind of a big treat for someone if they're like
not for me. I
crush a
could sit
peanut
down
butter
and eat
bone.
the whole thing.
It's like a whole meal of
it
peanut
was
butter
really
bone.
good.
But you made like a Mortal Kombat when they had a new Mortal Kombat coming out. You made like
Yeah,
it would look
that
like an
was
arcade box, which is
good
why we
to
have it
eat.
behind you. Good work, Tony.
Oh, yay.
Mortal Kombat 2 is playing because that has a bunch of
Awesome.
games on
3.
it, and we pick a
Mortal
game
Kombat
per
3.
guest.
Oh my
We put
God,
that thing on.
awesome.
Yeah.
But when you look at that, it's this really cool arcade box with like Raiden coming out of the screen, and he's kind of
Yes.
breaking out of the screen.
That was totally edible and
100% edible.
And they ate it afterward. It was awesome.
Wow.
Like,
Really?
it came out really good.
Who ate it afterwards?
So it was for Warner Brothers.
Liu
They had
Kang,
reached
Kano, Sonya
I
Blade,
don't know. I don't.
Jax,
Goro.
All of those people.
Shang
Yeah.
Tsung. They all enjoyed your cake.
I'm trying to think.
Cyrax right there.
He wasn't on there.
He's a robot. He doesn't need sustenance.
He would never. He eats oil.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so it definitely got eaten by the people there, and so I knew it had to be done. Like, if people are going to eat it, you have to make it fast,
Sure.
basically. Otherwise, it's not going to be fresh. And so that was a tasty one. Actually, it was
Yeah?
really good. Yeah, if I know people are going to be eating it, I make sure.
You got to be cautious. No hot
Everything-
glue.
Oh, there's no hot glue, no. And you have to just make sure like you're using the tastiest ingredients and you're using the best recipes.
Yeah.
And
They're like,
so-
Christine, this is fat. It's a staple. I had a
Yeah.
staple in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
I don't think I've ever used a staple in a cake, but
I remember in, I don't know what grade I was in, but in school, I haven't thought about this memory since. When we were making like gingerbread houses for Christmas, they would take empty milk cartons.
Okay.
And then we would put it like that. And then they would just put frosting on the sides. And then we would put the gingerbread on that. So like that was the foundation.
Okay, yeah.
And then so you just cover it all up to look like that.
Isn't that crazy that I did the same exact thing years later?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a lot of evolution in
No, 'cause we went to the same school.
Oh,
same
okay.
elementary
Years
school.
later,
but
like separately.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I did the exact same thing.
So trash. Did you also, here's a fun one. Sorry, just me and Tony here.
Yeah.
Did you have a thing where it was like a really corny poem that you didn't write about how you're going to someday grow up and you always will love your parents no matter how big your hands get? And then you put your hands in paint and you put it on the thing.
Like, it's like a burlap sack.
Yeah, and it hangs from a wooden piece with a string.
I still have that at my
mom
parents'
and dad
house.
still have it.
Yeah. We still have 3 of them from me and my brothers.
And it's like this, it's sweet, but it's so forced. Like I didn't write the poem. I didn't do anything. I cut a square, I put it down.
You got to pick your color.
Give it to mom. She cries. She holds on to it for 40 years thinking like, wasn't it sweet when he wrote this? Didn't write it. Everybody in Covington, Washington did the same
what
thing.
color did you choose though? For
Orange.
Mine's green.
She's not supposed to know. You just gave it away.
She doesn't know. She also doesn't listen to this podcast.
Okay, good.
Or call or text. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's terrible.
And it turned into therapy, didn't it?
Yeah. A little bit. But that's okay. So maybe you need that. Maybe we need that.
That was fun. I make fun of everything. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Oh, like food or just anything?
Well, I think we already know what you make on the shows. What, like in your life? They want to get to know you.
Okay. I like woodworking. That's kind of turned into my new very favorite thing.
Really?
Well, it lasts. I think all of this stuff is super fun because it doesn't last.
Woodwork.
So within the last couple of years, I've kind of gotten into like sculpting and wood carving and stuff.
Which is great because those will stay with you.
Yeah. So
you'll have like that in your house and go, I built that.
Yeah. So I kind of am super into doing that lately.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I want you to look at your hands right now.
okay.
And then just go, hey,
They're terrible.
I might not always have all these fingers.
100%.
Just be grateful.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've
Those
already
table saws are a motherfucker.
I have prepared myself for losing fingers.
Be
and like
real cautious.
I'll just like get a bedazzled stump or something. Like
Oh, wow. I like that
Fancy.
idea.
Put some like rhinestones
Or
on
a
the
big,
little...
like a demon claw. Or not a demon claw, but like a gargoyle claw or something
Ooh,
like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who was that hot like Russian girl that like I think she lost a leg and she was like a musician and she got this cool spike on her leg?
I like that.
Well, so it's like,
Interesting.
I'll get
I think you
creative.
might be thinking of a fictional movie
Oh
from Quentin Tarantino. Are you thinking of that?
no, I know.
No,
who
that's a gun.
Rose McGowan.
Oh, well, then now I'm getting confused.
That's
There
a gun for a leg. Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a girl in a music video who had like a spike for a leg.
You're thinking Planet Terror.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so it is a music video. That
Richard
has, like, a girl
Rodriguez.
with
Yeah,
a
Richard
spike for a
Rodriguez.
leg.
But anyways, was that real when she did that on the music video?
I think she is an actual amputee. So
With a real spike?
yeah, with this really beautiful.
Why wouldn't you do
looking-
that every day? How dope would
That's
that
what
be?
I'm saying. Like you just have to make,
People
life
are pretty
gives you
boring.
lemons. You
Yeah.
know,
You
put a
make
big spike on your
lemonades.
stump. I don't know.
I always think about that all the time, though. It's like, why wouldn't you want to have all the most interesting things? So, like, I have a motorcycle with a sidecar, right?
Okay.
Which I love. I have like a bunch of these really wild looking electric scooters.
Okay.
I have a big stupid guy Jeep. You know, like I didn't like just keep it stock. I put like big knobby 36-inch tires and it looks like just like this
Nice.
big go-kart. I feel like Donkey Kong from like Donkey Kong Country.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and nothing's practical. I don't want to own regular things. I want to own things that I look at and then make me smile and go, look at this thing.
I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
all unique. Like someone's like, hey, why don't you just get a Toyota Corolla? It's like, it's boring to me.
Yes.
I'd rather
Well, I'm kind of
have
like
a
that.
wild
like,
thing.
everything around my house is kind of like a little bit spooky and creepy. And
Yeah.
it's just, you should surround yourself with the things that make you happy. So I'm
Yeah.
on the same page with
We're
you.
on the exact same page. And we also don't want to have kids.
No. Okay. Yay.
Yeah.
I think they're just one of those things. My logic is if you get a bad one, you have to keep it. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's pretty committal.
true.
and everyone has to act like you like them all. And I know for a fact.
Not to mention, here's something that it won't be a popular take with any mother listeners, which we, whatever.
Sorry, moms.
You can't always ensure that thing's even going to like you back.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Right, you were saying like some cats are bad. Sometimes you have a whole kid, and then that kid will like resent you when it gets older, or like just turn into like some weirdo at age 14. I mean, if you don't handle it perfectly the way they want, so it's like you say like the greatest thing you've ever done is like have a kid, and it's like nothing experience like it, and blah blah blah. You have to say that. Because you've made such a big commitment.
You have to say that, but also there are people that have good ones. And
right?
like,
those are unique.
I don't want to sound terrible, but my mom and I are like insanely close. And like, she wasn't really into the spooky thing, but like, we're like best friends, and I'm kind of like a clone of her. So it's kind of like,
I love that.
If I were to have a child, I would want her to be like weird and into all of these other things.
But because then, you are, she might go, oh my God.
Exactly. Right. She might like only modern things and like veer completely away from
Or she has some sort of genetic thing where she just kicks one of your cats every few days. And
oh my God.
Like, now I really don't like her.
Okay, if I had a child that wasn't a cat person, I would have to drown
Mom,
her.
I'm allergic. And you're like, well, I have to kill you.
Yeah.
I have to kill you.
I would
now.
honestly have to go set her free in the forest. Yeah. I wouldn't have use for a child like that.
You even found a way to make that sound sweet, didn't you? Set her free in the forest.
Set her free, yeah.
Yeah, that is not abandonment by a mom.
Take her to the farm.
Her luck.
Yeah, take her to the farm.
Is that your take on Casey Anthony? Well, I had to set her free. Put her in the trunk.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's a risk, and a lot of people end up with things that they're with ones that they're really happy with and are awesome, but
not always.
There is this unspoken thing that is common that people end up with one they didn't want,
right?
Or one that's no good.
Right.
For them.
Or lazy, or and also you're successful. I was talking about this just this morning, is that like my buddy, and I don't want to say his name.
Don't.
He might be sad.
Then don't say his name.
He's a great guy. He's very, very successful. One of my favorite people. He has a great energy. If you were around him for just a minute, you'd be like, what a fun guy.
Okay.
Very, very fun. Great first impression. Very silly. Big laugh. Big personality. I adore him. And he's been wildly successful because of that. And now he has this giant home with an amazing wife he loves to death. And they've just created this picture perfect lifestyle, and he's a multi-millionaire. He's got all these great things, and then they have two beautiful kids.
You know a lot of people like this, or he's gonna know. Who you're talking.
All my friends are successful. Yeah, counting Tony. Just kidding.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, and he's got two kids.
Okay.
And they're great. I mean, like, I was like, one time I was at their house and their like 8-year-old was like swimming and he has like abs. And I was like, ugh, why did your son have abs? Like, it was like the weirdest. Like, I was even jealous of like an 8-year-old, like a little model looking kid that he had. These two beautiful kids that are very sweet and nice. But he's like, their life's too good. They live in this giant house.
Yes.
He's like, whose kids are like in this big pool going, Daddy, we want sushi. Can we have sushi tonight? He's like, you shouldn't even know what sushi is, you little shit.
Totally.
And that's the thing, because he's been successful, he's afraid his kids are just going to be thankless, little selfish punks.
Very sadly, they most likely will.
Yeah, it sounds like they are.
Yeah,
unless they're...
And they're hanging out with kids at a nice school, private school in LA, where there's other kids who are kids of millionaires who...
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't personally think that is a good recipe for like.
But what is he supposed to do? Live in a shitty house with his wife?
Totally. Yeah. There's no, and also like if something upsetting happens to your child and you have the resources to help it, like I couldn't deny them that.
Right.
So that's why pets are a better child.
Absolutely.
I think you can spoil them endlessly.
Right. And they never get mad at you.
They never get mad. They never like.
How often is your cat came in the room and it's like, listen, just let me borrow $200 and I don't want you to be near me for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
But I still need all your money. I'm going to resent you if anyone sees us in public together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, cats make me upset a little bit sometimes. My roommate has 2 cats.
Okay.
And half the time they're obsessed with me. They'll sit outside my bedroom door and just...
That makes you feel nice.
And meow. Like they just want love, right?
Okay.
But then I'll come home and I'm like, oh, what's up, buddy? And I'll go to pet him and then he hisses at me. So I'm like, all right, we can't do this.
Really?
We're not going to play this game.
They can be hot and
cat
cold.
and mouse, huh?
You know,
playing hard to get with Tone Bear.
That's why I love dogs.
Oh.
Because like a dog's going to...
But you don't have to choose. I love cats and dogs.
Yeah, you don't have to choose. But I'm like, why do you want to be my friend sometimes? And then I try to pet you and you hiss at me.
It's on her terms.
Hurts my feelings.
It's an investment with cats. You get what you invest in them. So
Right, and sometimes not even that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes they just don't like you.
I bought a girlfriend, a cat.
I thought you were going to end it. I bought a girl.
I bought a girl. She's in the basement. No, I bought a girlfriend a cat.
Okay.
I thought it'd be a great gift. She's always talking about how she wants a cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this will be nice. And I got her like a little kitten. Who wouldn't want a little kitten as a gift? Like, what a great gift. I got a bad one.
Oh.
I got a real bad one. This thing, we thought I liked him because I was like, ooh, look, he's like a little ornery, a little feisty.
No.
Yeah, the bad choice. And she named him Dexter after like that murder because that show was real popular at the time. It's like first season.
Awesome.
And since then, we've talked, and she's like, that cat is the worst. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I mean, I love him, but like, I'll literally not see him for like a day, and then all of a sudden something will just break in the kitchen, and then I'll see him like dart off, and I'm like, Dexter. Like she just like she has like such a strange relationship with this cat.
That's why you have to have more than one.
I guess, but how would you tell, man? You can't tell.
I can tell. I can tell like instantly when you meet them. Like as a kitten, I had like my best cats have always been ones
You haven't
that,
seemed crazy till right this second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she goes, I can tell.
In case you're wondering, I'm a full-blown like crazy cat lady. But no, you can kind of tell their personality like almost immediately when they're babies.
Right.
Not super babies.
What if I want my cat to be Republican though? Like, how do I find that?
That's going to be something you're going to have to check with your congressman.
I'll have to like ask and send letters. Fair enough.
I'm sure you can get a lot of pamphlets about
just like
that.
I picture a
Help you out.
cat like flipping through your Fox News.
I'm
or
lecturing the
something.
cat.
Yeah.
Cat's got like a gun. I'm like, that one. I want that one.
I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to check with someone else. But no, I'm saying if you want like a nice one, I feel like you can tell if one's sweet really early. So,
Yeah.
And so if one is too boisterous,
my dog had a rough start and a like real rough start. And I think it's made him sweet.
I was going to say,
dogs, so it's horrible to want that, but also like it made him the most cuddly, kind of like needy at times. I want a dog to be needy. I want a cat to be needy. I like them. They're needy.
I have never met a bad dog ever. Like,
I haven't either, to be honest.
I can't recall ever having met a dog that I couldn't immediately like fall in love with.
Right.
But the love you get from them isn't quite the same as you get with like a really special cat.
You've earned it with a cat.
Exactly. Like I lost my little favorite baby like a month ago, and like he was like a really special, like he was like my little husband. Like he followed me everywhere. We had this like relationship.
Yeah.
I get a little uncomfortable. So this is a weird topic.
Okay.
When the cat's like, he'll be like kneading my back, and he's really getting a purr going, and I'm like, this is, you know what I mean? I mean, I love it. I'm happy. This is great, but I'm hoping it's not sexual for him.
So I mentioned I have a mentally handicapped kitty.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's a little boy, and he definitely. I don't know what it's like, a very like Harvey Weinstein relationship. Like he gets on you. It's like he wasn't invited. And he just starts doing things. And at first
that really blurs the line of consent. These cats and dogs and just also, waving their wieners around at you.
It's like I said, I love him.
That's not our relationship.
Exactly. You're just like, I'm a person.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah,
or
this
mom.
is not
it would
where
never
this
work.
is going, but he does attempt that often.
Christine McConnell says, put your pets in the friend zone. That's true, though.
So I try to like set him down or push him off when he starts
getting a little too sexual.
Yeah, exactly. And you know it's happening. Like once he works into it, and then it's like
that's my point. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a weird thing.
It's a very weird thing.
I would get that sense, like because like I like when they purr and they're on my lap or whatever. But when he starts like getting into it and he's like looking at me and I go, whoa, Simba, hey, whoa, God, tone it down, bud.
Dominating you.
I don't need this at all.
I think asserting his dominance over you.
Something, but I'm way bigger than a cat.
Well, he doesn't care.
Did you see that video of that kid punching the cat in the face?
No, I hope that little kid died.
That's what I hoped. And I wrote some pretty mean things about him. And me and Ricky Gervais went hard on this kid. Got a lot of retweets. And they found him and they arrested him. Yeah.
I feel like more than anything, if you're somebody capable of hurting an animal, you should be shipped off to some island.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Doused in gasoline and set on fire.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You know that Stone Cold movie where they all go to an island and they have to kill each other and it's like on TV?
Oh my gosh.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I feel like...
What is that, like adult Hunger Games?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing.
I just feel like that's sort of something that plucks you out of society, is if you're mean to cats.
Well, it just doesn't
animals.
make any sense. I can't get my mind around it. Like,
what was the
there's been
logic
plenty of humans I
behind?
wanted to hurt, and I still chose not to.
Totally.
There's been plenty of... I've never... Who would want to hurt it? The same reason we're talking about loving animals so much.
Totally.
They don't do nothing. Like
No.
a cat didn't say fuck you. A cat didn't like he didn't like steal your lunch.
He didn't
box.
manage your career and like abscond with all
he
your
didn't
money.
write a
like,
feminist blog about how you should quit comedy, cancel you.
Exactly,
But like
exactly.
he's just a nice cat going, hey, what are you doing over there?
Well, there's some video that went viral a few years ago of a lady like just walking down the street and shoved a cat in a trash can and closed the lid and walked off.
Chambers.
Oh,
And
God.
somebody like went and like I think in her community, like that video went viral and everyone knew who she was and she was getting
Good.
harassed
She
like
should.
crazy.
Good.
And she was on television going, I wish people would leave me alone. I'm so upset about this. And she's just
Yeah,
like,
you did it, dum dum.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I just hope like,
You know,
a
it's usually
building falls
men
on
that do
her.
that, not
It's
usually women. That's so strange.
something was wrong with her.
It's
I
generally
don't
like
know.
a teenage boy or like, hate to say it, like some guy in Iraq who's like, oh, look at this puppy, and then throws it like in a canyon or whatever. That's a real video. And those guys, they all get in trouble.
Oh, good. Yeah,
But like, I'm glad to hear that that lady got in trouble.
Yeah, so bad things happen to her. And as far as I'm concerned, not enough bad things can happen to someone who does that.
Right.
Was it Farrah Fawcett? Some celebrity who died, who I was trying to like learn about because I was like, oh, everyone's tweeting about this. I'll look into it. And I got a free 12 hours till I have to be at a stand-up comedy show. And so I was just like looking up pictures. And I think it was her, so I'm going to be sad if it's not. And I was looking through all these old photos of her. One of my favorite things is she was wearing a shirt like in the 70s that said, hurt animals and I will kill you. And it was just like so
that.
simple. And I was like, that's awesome. And it's cool to see like
I
on a
love
babe, you know, like
that.
wearing a shirt like that.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's a good shirt.
I need that shirt. I'll start
That's a
looking
good
for
We'll
shirt.
it.
make you that shirt as a gift for being on Jeff Dye's
Oh my
friendship
gosh,
pod.
I'll make you a cake in exchange.
Well, that's the thing.
there
It's a
we go.
friendship pod. That's why we don't dive deep on anything
It's a good
too
exchange
much.
of
I
goods.
should have made cookies. I feel terrible, actually, now that I'm thinking.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
all
It'd have
right.
been good. I'm on a
We
diet.
had a sex
Okay.
expert one episode, and she brought us all sorts of things.
I
I've
was
been
going to say,
too
did she
shy.
bring sex?
No, I would have been into that, but she brought like condoms and like lube and all these like weird things, and
Okay.
we were already uncomfortable to have her on.
Yeah, it was,
We're like, we don't talk about that stuff.
it was a strange
And
day.
then she's like, well, now you have to talk about it. I was like, no, what are you talking about? And I did end up like hitting on her kind of like afterwards. Not on air, you know.
Okay.
But it's like, it's the same thing as like an Instagram models page or like a porn star's Instagram or something. Like if all you're doing is going sex, it's all sex. How do you not expect someone to treat you in the sex genre? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's
it's a
all
good-
you're throwing out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I know people that are in that
Yeah.
arena or whatever. And
And they're like, that's
I
not fair.
like
I'm a
them.
sex worker. You're like, I know.
Sex worker.
But you're like, I get it. But also like, I can't help myself. If that's all you're putting out there, it's all I know of you.
Yeah.
It'd be like you coming on and being like, hey, is there any way you could not address my show and not address any of the things I like to make?
Can we not talk about spooky stuff?
Yeah, and I'd be
Okay.
like, but that's all the things you
Okay.
put out
Yeah.
there.
Good point. I see.
Right, and so that's what I'm going to talk to you about. And then you have some porn star sitting here going, "Hey, don't talk about that." And you're like,
Well, is that what she was
"It's
doing?
what you do." We had one.
Oh, well, I would say if she was averse to discussing it, that would be strange. But
It's strange.
I don't think you should feel uncomfortable talking about.
I didn't feel
people
uncomfortable.
with their.
She tried to make
profession.
me feel bad about it, and I was like, "What are
Oh.
you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
All your Instagram is just I've seen you naked like a zillion times unintentionally. It just it got thrown at me."
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know why we're talking about all this.
I don't either.
Do you cook?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like. Other than singing, I'm good at most things. Like
what a really
Yeah.
football.
no, okay. Wow. Now I'm really gonna regret having said that. No, I'm bad at football.
Okay.
I'm good at volleyball.
Animatronics,
I've never done it. So
data processing.
data processing.
Yeah, well, could
data.
you assess a dad?
Yeah.
Data
Could you
process.
process what a dad is?
Okay. I feel like data processing animatronics are probably things I could get good at.
I think you
but
could be good at any of these things. But
Mhm.
let's talk about the things you're good at. So
Okay.
you're good at cooking.
I think so, yeah.
You said a second ago.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
And then dancing.
Oh my God, yeah.
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 Making clothes. We heard you do that.
I do almost a lot, most of my, except this, but like dresses,
Yeah.
fancy stuff. I make all that stuff just because stuff fits better.
What's the genre of clothing you wore on that show?
I would actually say probably late 60s. I do.
Oh, there's a time period for it?
Yeah, that's kind of like the sweet spot for me. And like, and I toy with stuff from like the 40s and 50s and even into the 70s, but mid to late 60s is kind of like
Specifically.
my favorite.
You can't
look
name
for
4
fashion.
decades and say I'm somewhere in there.
I'm sorry.
Actually, technically, I'm in 4 decades.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
would say like the 90s all the way up to now.
Okay.
are the
nice.
clothes I wear.
See, so
Yeah.
you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Only because you did it.
Oh.
Wait, so you make clothes.
Yes.
You're getting it old 10-finger Christine still in the woodworking
So
industry.
far.
Learning how to do all that.
I
It's
think
good news.
House design.
Yeah, totally. I feel well. Let's see. Math. I'm not good at math.
Yeah, who needs math? Fuck
Oh,
math.
sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
singing, you said you can't
I
sing.
can't at all. It's just one
Can
of
you
those.
rap?
If you can't sing, you almost certainly can't.
I
rap.
found out I couldn't rap.
Okay.
I did a show and I can do that where me and Joe Jonas worked with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay.
And then who's the guy? He's the beatbox guy. Do you know who I'm talking about? That I was on that
Beatbox.
episode with.
Beatbox guy.
He's like really good at like making beats with his mouth. He's an old.
Oh.
He's in the rap industry. I feel bad that I forgot his name.
Roselle.
No, it's more famous than Roselle, but less talented. So I know that's mean to say because
I
Roselle's
don't
like the
think you
top
should
of the
remember
thing.
this name.
Yeah.
Then.
I know I'm not going to do it.
I don't know.
But we worked with those guys, and I sang so poorly,
Okay.
like because I can't sing, and they're trying to have me sing a song. Well, if I can't sing, it's gonna sound bad. But I'm a good sport. I tried, so I put the headphones on. I tried to sing, and they were like, "Woof."
Oh no.
But it was funny, and I'm a comedian, so I don't mind people laughing at me. I'm
Okay,
very
right.
resilient, and I'm a good sport about things like that. And so they're like, "Oh, well, then we'll just have Jeff do the rap. Joe Jonas will sing, and we'll have Jeff do the rap."
Oh,
It was so hard.
it's singing, rapping. It's all like that's a physical talent that people have, and also like it's a mental like
Yeah.
like these are things you can get better if you're good at it,
Right.
but you're born with the ability to do those things.
Even just starting the rap, once I had it memorized,
Yeah.
like they were like, okay, remember, it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like,
Yeah.
and they were doing the thing. I would miss the intro for it every single time, and
think
then now
it's-
I'm off rhythm, and they're like,
Yeah.
doesn't he know he's off rhythm? To like, what? And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, 'cause it's not just saying words. There's
Yeah.
I believe that it's hard, but
You know?
I
It's an
also
art.
thought maybe it's just talking fast and rhyming. I got that wrong.
No, it's
Yeah.
like and it's something I don't have. Like as
Right.
far as I'm concerned, like people who can sing, rap, do all of that stuff. It's like a magical quality.
I'd pay good money to see you attempt to rap
Oh, geez.
because I think it'd be hilarious.
That would be
Get you
money
on the
very
Masked
poorly
Singer.
spent.
Get you
It
no, but not for me. I think it'd be
it would-
hilarious.
Make you cry laughing, and
Yeah.
I would die of embarrassment.
So there's a alleged story that the Coen brothers made. What's the movie? Oh, Brother, We're Out Though.
Okay.
And George Clooney like insisted that he sing the song that it's called the Muddy Boys or
Muddy,
whatever.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
Yeah, the
Soggy
Soggy
Bottom
Boys,
Boys.
yeah.
Okay.
So he insisted that he sing that, and he worked with like a vocal coach, and he like memorized it, and it was really excited to do it. And then they did it, and he thought it sounded fine, and nobody had the balls to tell George Clooney that it didn't sound
Oh,
fine. So they were all really
no.
supportive, and he gave it his best shot, and good
Okay.
for him. And they do the whole movie. And that music part was afterwards that they were going to kind of put in. Because
Okay.
either way, they needed George Clooney mouthing it and acting it out.
Right.
Totally.
Even if they get someone to
So
sing.
let's not tell them.
So then someone sends them the raw file of like, hey, just so you know,
This is what that sounded like.
if you insist on this being in the movie, which is in your contract, like, give her a listen. And he was so humiliated that he drove down to the thing and demanded that they destroy that audio file.
Oh.
And then they hired the man who sang on the song.
That's funny.
And they still had the footage of him like mouthing it and doing all the
Yeah,
stuff, which was
yeah.
really good. And it looked great because he was really giving it his
Totally.
but it was like a oh shit moment for him, like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
No.
We need to get
it's-
rid of this. Like
it's
that.
a-
I don't want that leaked anywhere. I don't want.
It's a God-given talent,
Yeah.
and you can't really like make it if you don't have it
It's wild.
without sounding horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's,
But it's not a rare talent. It's a talent.
I would say the caliber of how good or bad it is
Yeah.
it kind of varies. I think there is a decent portion of people who have that talent, and then there's this small subset of people who have like just mind-blowing
Right.
talent in that arena. But
Yeah.
I'm like on the farthest opposite spectrum of
Yeah.
it. That it sounds like a cat in a garbage disposal. Like it's
Oh,
just
boy.
I sing every day. I practice.
Oh,
I sing
okay.
every day, and I'm horrible.
so you're practicing for something. That,
Well, no, I guess you'd call that practice. I sing every day because I like music, but I'm just real bad at it.
oh, no.
It doesn't
Well,
matter
and
how
there's
much
no
I
shame.
practice. I do it
think
every day.
I think so long as you acknowledge what you're not great at, there's no then you can sing in front of people. So long as you
No,
establish
that won't be happening.
it's uncomfortable when someone doesn't know. and
Yeah.
then they're singing.
Oh, yeah.
Or
the
if they think
delusion.
if they think they're
Yeah,
good
they
and they're
think
not.
Well, like,
There.
I don't know how
Then
many
that's a
times I go to
rough spot.
karaoke night because I like watching karaoke, and
Okay.
a lot of my friends like doing karaoke, so I'll
Okay.
go with them. And they always are like, "When are you gonna?" And I was like, "1, I don't sing good. 2, I'm not gonna enjoy it. 3, they're not gonna enjoy it. And
Yeah.
4, I get plenty of attention in my life that I don't need to get up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Totally.
I don't need to go on stage and have a bunch of people listen to me for an hour plus, and then come do this for 3.5 minutes. It's just not worth it. If
Yeah.
I would enjoy it, then I'd do it. But
Yeah.
if I'm not enjoying it and it's gonna sound like shit, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But also, like, if you're so bad that it's funny, that
Yeah.
can be sort of entertaining.
But that's
too.
Maybe I just got to find the right song.
Right.
You know?
That's the
Yeah.
fine
That
line.
would make me enjoy it.
That's the fine line with karaoke. There's too many people going up there for them.
Right.
That's not karaoke's about. It's
Yo,
about everybody.
give the people a show.
That's right. Don't go up there and try to sing "Human Nature" by Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
don't
because you
try
think
to
it's in
seem
you.
sexy too.
Don't
I've had enough
do
of
it.
that, fellas.
Oh.
Where you get up there
Let's
and you
all
like you
have
sing
fun.
some sort of like deep thing.
No.
Do you think we're at the bar going, "Oh, he's so deep"?
Yeah.
Like we know we're going. Why is this moron singing this song?
Yeah.
He's bumming us all out. We didn't just all go through a breakup.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about your career.
Okay.
We've talked about all the things you like making and stuff, but like, what are your like hobby? What do you have, like a softball night or anything? You go ice skating. What are you into?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
I'm
video
trying
games?
to think. I wish I was into video games.
They're fun.
I like them somewhat, and some people are super, super good at them.
He's super good at them.
Okay,
I'm bad at them, but I love them.
I don't have good like for the speed that you have to.
Hand-eye coordination.
but
yeah,
there's so many
whatever that
different
is.
games.
I'm not fast at mine, so
Mhm.
like it's not really. I end up just hurting my thumbs and getting frustrated. So I don't know. It's not for me. I'm trying to think. I love horror movies. I watch movies constantly, like a
Then-
crazy amount of movies.
I've got a good follow-up question for that then.
Okay. Right.
As a man who's seen all the horror films,
okay.
I had a girlfriend. She got me into them years and years ago. Well, she was like, "Hey, do you like scary movies?" I was like, "Yeah, growing up, I used to watch a lot of scary movies, but I haven't thought about them in ages." And she was like, "For Halloween, we should watch one scary movie a night for the month of October."
Okay. Perfect.
It was so fun, and because I hadn't seen anything, every single night was some exciting, fun
oh
horror
my God. Yeah. Because there's
And-
easily that number and more.
film.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But the problem was we had so much fun doing it that we just started doing it for like November, or October,
yeah.
November. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would do it like, let's do it every night of November. And that was pretty fun. And we're
Okay.
like, how about every night of December? Because it's just us. It was the first girl I ever lived with and stuff too. So it's like, we
Totally.
didn't need to go be out drinking. We found a partner.
Yeah.
And so we just kept doing it. And I've never gotten tired of this. And I've been very, very adamant. When new horror film comes out, I saw It Chapter 2 like 2 weeks early at a Collider premiere. And
Yay. Awesome.
all these different things. I'm very adamant about seeing all the horror films, whether they're good or bad.
One of my favorites is You're Next.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I like movies where there's like a girl that seems like just like a regular girl and then she turns out to be like a psychopath. And then
Oh,
because they just like they do this thing in that movie where
it's a
it's
red
like
flag.
I'm sorry. We've been forewarned. I'm trying to think like I just talked about this just recently, but yeah, just it's a movie where like these terrible, it's like a home invasion kind of things. And
Oh
this-
yeah, like what's the one with Liv Tyler? Strangers.
Yes.
What a movie!
It's like
Yeah.
The Strangers, except Liv Tyler turns out to be like a survivalist and like knows all this crazy shit and like goes and murders a bunch of people.
I like that.
Oh boy.
I love movies like that.
What
where,
a good premise. I'm sure it's been done, but maybe if like a serial killer
Okay.
is horrible at choosing his victim and accidentally chooses another serial killer.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, like so it's like, oh crap, I've stumbled upon the wrong person.
Okay.
So I came to kill this person. I open up a closet. I find all this, and you're like, oh, now I'm being, it's
Now
kind of like this.
Now it's a fight.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Spy versus spy. It's Freddy
Cut
versus
this
Jason.
out. We're making it, Tone.
Yeah, all right. All right.
Clip this beauty out. We need to.
Save that.
I've got
I
ideas. I
love
know you're
that
gonna steal
idea.
my ideas. That's what you pukes do. That's what happened. Remember when Sixth Sense happened?
Yes.
Big twist, right? Ooh, he sees dead people, but the whole time we saw a person and he wasn't really there, right?
Okay, yes.
We're to look like a fool because we believe Bruce Willis is really alive
Okay.
because they've made us think he's really alive.
I wouldn't say anything bad about this movie because it's one of my favorites.
I love Sixth Sense, and that twist was mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling, and I can go on about it.
And then you rewatch it and you go, oh, everything he touches.
Yes.
And like that dinner, she's only on the dinner because she misses him. She's not really mad at him
Totally.
and whatever. There's all these great things that they did it really well and delicately to preserve that twist.
Totally.
And everything that he touches red is dead. All these different things. That movie was so good and so phenomenal and so unique. respect to M. Night Shyamalan. That
Respect.
now all these other movies came out and tried to limp in with the same twist.
Well, okay, so here's the biggest thing about The Sixth Sense for me is things are really spectacular if you're able to remove the thing that somebody thinks makes it so special, and it's still incredible.
Yeah.
If you were to remove that twist from The Sixth Sense, it is an astonishingly good movie.
Great scares.
Yeah, and like that's kind of how I feel about Stranger Things. Like if you were to take out all sorts of things from
Don't
it,
start.
Don't get me started.
do you like it?
I love it.
You have to like it.
I love it.
Don't tell me you don't like it.
Season 1, best show I've ever seen in my life.
It's kind of
Phenomenal. It's got everything I like. The time period. I
Uh-huh.
love things from that time period. I love the synthesizer noise that goes with that time period.
Totally.
Love Winona Ryder. I love kid casts like Stand By Me and It with the made for TV and the TV, like the movie version.
Totally.
I loved the sheriff who's going through a thing, who's almost like romanticizes with his whiskey and the tough and the I'm a single man, but I wish I wasn't, but maybe I prefer it. Very Tom Waits vibe. All the things I love. Monsters, maybe aliens, right? When they cut into the boy and they're like, well, this isn't a real boy. Conspiracy, love Conspiracy. It has all the things I love.
Everything.
And
you can
the
take
other
out-
world, which is like other dimensions. I
Totally.
liked all those things. And then season 2, they hit me with a mall shopping sequence.
Season 3, yeah.
Wait, that's season 3.
Oh, season 2 I liked. Sorry.
I was just gonna say-
Season 3 is garbage time and insulting, and all like everything that they taught me has now been flipped on its head. They're making like a Saved by the Bell show. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like why is 11 looking into the camera during a mall shopping like what is that called? Montage.
Okay.
And like now, like there's all these hacky cliches of
Yeah,
like,
I was expecting Hall & Oates.
you
to
know how boys
be playing.
are. Boys, we don't need you. We're gonna break up with it. It was just all of it. The cute boy is now working at an ice cream shop and he can't get girls.
Oh my God. Okay, that was
What?
one. I was watching that and I told my mom, I was like, who are they fooling?
Right.
Like a hot guy who's kind of a loser, like that's not going to appeal to women. Like,
Right.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Well, and also like, and he was a really good kid and like nice and like confident, and the cool kid is what the picture they painted season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
And then in season 3, he's working at an ice cream shop and he's failed so many times that the girl that works with him is keeping a tally. Oop, that's 20 girls you hit on that don't like you. Why is he hitting on 20 girls a day at an ice cream shop and not having success? It makes no sense.
So I completely agree with you. I felt like the third season was
Jump the shark.
just not for me. But
Yeah.
I feel personally, I think I liked the second season better than the first.
Me too. I liked
Just-
it. I forgot there
loved-
even was a second season because I kind of lumped those two together.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
I probably binge watched both.
The trailer for the second one.
So cool.
With the Vincent Price.
And also the snowball scene, the very last episode when they go to the dance, the ballroom dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
might be the only time I've thought in the last like 8 years where I'm like, I gotta go find someone. I was getting like teary eyed. They're all like kissing each other. And then
Yeah.
the one boy who's got no one to dance with, the older girl comes over and saves the day. And I was like teary eyed. And I was like, yes, this is so beautiful and blah, blah. And then season 3, they just drop a big dump on my chest. Just a big steamy shit. And they go, how am I in season 3? And I'm like, nope. Also, the kids are all older and weird
Well, and
looking.
it took them forever to get it out, too.
They're all
so-
celebrities
Yeah.
with like veneers now. It's like, get the fuck off my Netflix. So
Okay, so
that was a bit of a rant.
we like the first seasons of Stranger Things.
I like
think
them all.
And the second.
Well, exactly. And I
see all of your points. Like I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like I understand that,
I
but
got hoodwinked.
I still liked it. So
I feel
got
like they can
hoodwinked,
still
Tony.
come back with something amazing.
I already have the perfect season 4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, because it seems like every season they do around a holiday, right? So this one was like 4th of July. The one before that was Halloween.
Mhm.
So the next one's going to be Christmas because they leave and they're like, oh, my mom already said you guys can come back for Christmas and we'll have a thing. So they've already set that up.
Okay.
So they'll come back for Christmas, right? We all think the sheriff's dead, but he's probably
Of
not.
course, if he's not
And they
dead.
can't just open the damn gate again. They can't
Yeah.
just be like, what's the point if we do that again? So what if they actually, the good guys, the people we like 11, has to actually open it to go through the upside down to find him.
Ooh.
So it's like proactively opening it instead of like the Russians just doing it for evil
Right.
reasons.
Okay.
Flip that on its head, open it for a reason because she lost her powers or whatever. But remember when in the first season when she's trying to find Will and then Winona Ryder, they do the pool
Yeah.
thing to give her
Yes.
powers. Winona's gonna find out Hopper's still around. They're gonna do that. She's gonna find him. And then season, they're gonna go look for him.
Tony, don't tell me what happens in your. If you're going to give me an idea of like, hey, this is what they're going to do, they'll have to open it proactively. I'm on board. But then you tell me what happens.
The entire.
I don't need that, Tony.
It's on record if that's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they'll steal our ideas.
Netflix owes me a lot of money.
That's what people do. They just steal shit and they go, it's like earlier I was telling you should get these old paintings and then put that. And she's like, I already did something like that. Or maybe you didn't, but
And
you
now
don't
I'm
want to go do it. And then, people say stuff like that.
I like that.
Like at meetings, I'll pitch like some good idea to NBC and they'll be like,
where do you have something like that?
we have something like that in the works actually already. You're like, oh, you do. Show me your pitch deck. Show me who brought that in.
Show me your work.
Lying pieces of shit. You're one of my favorite humans on planet Earth. I'm excited for everyone to get to know you and hear this and see this.
Thank you.
Last question.
Ready?
I'm very excited this time.
Yeah, this will be a good one. I ask every guest this when I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Christine McConnell. Is that a stage name or is that your birth name?
No, that's my actual name.
Okay, just curious.
Social security number?
That's the most boring stage name ever, by the
Not
way.
really.
Oh, really? Oh, my
Yeah.
God. I would have picked something way better.
What, like Kermit the Frog?
No, like Veronica something. Or
Ooh.
I could have gone with something way more awesome.
I like it.
It does the job.
Yeah, it's
it
good.
works. What happens when we die?
Ooh. I love this question.
It's a good one.
I would call myself an optimistic agnostic, meaning I don't know, but I'm hoping for the best.
Okay.
And I kind of think we're so early on in like understanding like what this place is and what is going on that like you couldn't possibly imagine. I think there's a lot more going on than we guess.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are on the wrong track, and I don't know is the answer, but I think it's something incredible.
I love it.
All right, that's
There's
my
no
answer.
right or wrong
That's
answer.
my answer.
Yeah, it makes me happy. Just something to think about.
Okay.
Mortality.
Yay, no, I think about
just
it often.
death and stuff. Thought maybe you could, think about it.
I love
Something
it.
to consider. You're the best. We love you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. This has been an awesome blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Before though, what do you want to plug?
Oh,
How can they find you? Where do
I'm
we?
doing this YouTube show
Yeah.
from the mind of Christine McConnell. If you Google it, it'll
Yeah.
show up.
We'll subscribe. We'll check it out.
Okay,
I'll
yay.
browse it. It doesn't have any of my
Awesome.
puppet friends, but it's got you, so that's
Sadly,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe someday. Maybe make some new ones.
Just out of like a fork and a sock. Or
No,
something.
there you go.
you're good at making stuff. Or also, maybe someone would like to make some characters
Okay.
for the thing.
I would do it.
Sounds fun. Tony, you got
Yeah.
anything to plug this week, bub?
No, just you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I am Tony Reavis.
Perfect. And we're out.
Bye.
Friendship.
How about that for an episode, huh? We covered the gamut on this. Also, what a great sense of humor she has. I might want to note that. We were able to make some pretty out there jokes, and she just went with it. And that's a very unique trait for someone who isn't in stand-up comedy or in some sort of, I don't know. She had kind of a fun sense of humor, and you could tell she appreciated and was comfortable with some of the darker stuff. You guys are great. Don't forget to go to her YouTube channel and subscribe. It's From the Mind of Christine McConnell. Also, like I said in the earlier part of the episode, before we went into the interview, Patreon. Go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Dye and subscribe. You'll get to watch this episode and all 76 other episodes and all the future episodes. You'll get free comedy club tickets to all of my shows, a free meet and greet. I'm going to start doing vlogs, which is going to be an exciting thing that is only for members. Some won't be just for members, but most will. And then we'll also do live streams with you guys. All that's on Patreon for $10 a month. If you don't want to subscribe to that, I get it. Go to iTunes, subscribe so you can listen to this podcast. That's completely free. And if you already have, we love you. I'm going to be giving shout outs to all of our Patreon subscribers named starting next episode. So I'm going to name everyone, give you guys a big personal thank you and personal shout out because we appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See you next week.